Hey everyone, it's Ray. Today we're going to be playing Nuclear Ares. This is mostly just for me to see if this is the type of content I want to record. I was thinking about this or playing Red Dead Redemption 1, because that's a game I really enjoy and have not played in a very long time. But I figured I'll try this game first because this is a game I was obsessed with back in December, and I played almost every day for probably 7 hours a day, maybe even more. Uh, so, yeah, I will try to explain what I know about nuclear energy as I kind of start up the reactor. This is a nuclear power simulation esque game. Obviously, it's not the most accurate. Don't take it as such. This game is mostly good for if you have that nuclear power like fascination itch, or you want to teach someone or a group of people, or if you just want a good simulation game. You see games on Roblox basically like this. Well, instead, it is a dedicated game on probably, in my opinion, the worst game engine because it is really laggy. And unfortunately, it's not a fault of my gaming device. It is a issue with the software because I was running this on uh, my main computer a long time ago, and that has a 6650 XT, and it was still really bad. Actually, I think it was even worse than that for some reason. So, anyway, I apologize if it is laggy at any moment. I will try to make sure I cut those moments out, but I'm not going to be able to get them all because there's going to be times I'm talking while it lags. So, I apologize. You're just going to have to bear with me. So, anyway, this is Nuclear RS. Like I said, you are basically in charge of a nuclear power plant. You were, as of right now, until they add the co-op, you're the sole operator. So, you know, that's pretty daunting. But I'm going to go ahead and get the I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up and started and try to explain what each thing is and how it works, yada yada, as I do it. I just loaded the fuel into the pressure water reactor, which is the type of nuclear reactor that this is. There's quite a few different kinds. If you have seen Chernobyl, obviously there's the RBMK. That's a Soviet specific design. There's the CANDU, which is what Canada uses. There's, I think, a sodium reactor. Then there's the pressure water reactor and the boiling water reactor. I'm trying to think of some others, but I can't off the top of my head. But yeah, basically there's different ways to create power using nuclear. And the CANDU, which I think actually uses heavy water, that's its unique characteristic, creates power differently than, let's say, this pressure water reactor. I think the CANDU is actually a boiling water reactor, I thought. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, the specific type of nuclear reactor this is a pressure water reactor, which basically means that when you have coolant inside what is called the primary circuit, it is pressurized, and you are using a pressurizer to do that. Essentially, you are heating up water, and I believe you're creating steam, and that created steam will stay inside the pressurizer and basically squeeze or push the water to be pressurized, and that allows the water in the primary circuit to get really, 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 really hot, and that means that that water can get up to temperatures probably as high as like 700 degrees Celsius without boiling away or being turned into steam. And what happens then is that really hot water goes into a steam generator, which will get hot as well, and that water in that steam generator, which is not like a steam generator that generates power from steam, it is a literal generator of steam. Basically, the water will get hot because the primary circuit goes through the secondary circuit, which is the steam generator as well. So and that water will be boiled off, and that will actually turn into steam, and that will go through a generator, and that will actually create the power and electric. Then it goes through the spent steam goes through a condenser, and it goes basically back into the steam generator again. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually power on the primary.
Hi. What's up? Yeah? Tell me about it. No.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the coolant pumps because
coolant has started to circulate.
Because obviously sitting coolant will have no helpful, that it won't be helpful, so it has to basically circulate through the whole system, basically in a giant loop like this. But what also needs to be done is so we don't run into evaporation issues in the pressurizer, we have to have the coolant going first. Then we can go over here, and now we can turn on the heaters and turn on the thermostat. The thermostat basically just regulates the temperature. So then, let's say I walk away and there's not enough heat, and you need to turn on the heaters. It's not a manual thing. It will detect, we're losing pressure, or we're losing temperature and pressure, and it'll kick back on to create that temperature again, that heat, and hopefully create pressure again, or sustain, I guess, pressure rather. Okay, so I'm keeping the coolant speed at 25. Everything over here, I will turn this on. The condenser I'm not going to mess with right now. I do not like the condenser at all. The condenser is just bad. I was told to have this at 1/10 of the speed of this. The way someone explained it is, it's like breathing out from your mouth, like, and blowing, like basically you're closing it, and when you just are breathing out like in like a huff, you have no pressure. You have no punch behind it. When you close your lips and you blow through your mouth, you have more push, so basically you want to create that that pressure by limiting how much or how open, I guess, the doorway is. Also, I'm increasing the turbine bypass valves because we don't want unpressurized steam going through the generator, because it could cause damage, or if it's not pressurized enough, we need it to get up to, we need the steam inside the steam generator to have some pressure before we allow it to go through the generator, or we're going to cause some problems. Okay, so again, I apologize if it's laggy and kind of hard to watch. Hopefully it's not, but okay, so this is getting up to temperature. Once it is, I'm going to increase speed a little bit. Once it is up to temperature, I will go ahead and slow down. Okay, there we go. All right, we can go ahead and actually turn on the reactor. Basically, how the actual nuclear reactor part of it comes in, or like where it comes into play, is, spin this up, there we go. Okay, all right, so how a nuclear reactor actually works to create energy is you have a fissionable material like uranium-235. It has a bunch of neutrons, and it is a unstable material. Basically, uranium atoms will lose neutrons, and those neutrons will shoot out, and if they hit another atom, another uranium atom, it will shoot out, I think it's like 2.5 neutrons, and those 2.5 neutrons, so that's 2 neutrons to 3 neutrons, might hit more fissionable uranium atoms, basically creating this chain reaction. I will try to put a gif or something like up to explain or to like visualize it for you guys, but the reason why that's not happening right now is because we have control rods in. Control rods are made of boron, at least the ones that I'm thinking of. So basically, to increase reactivity, which is what you want, you have to raise the control rods. So then the neutrons, when they shoot out, don't get absorbed by the control rods. They will just keep going until they hit something. So in this case, that's why the control rods are called control rods, because they basically control the reactivity, because the lower they are in, the more neutrons they absorb, the less reactive, the less critical it is. The higher they're out, the less is being absorbed, so then those neutrons can hit atoms, uranium atoms. So in this case, they are in currently at 100%. I'm going to take them out by 7%. So basically, we're going up. They're going to be 93% in. So there you go. There we go. And now, as the neutron, or when a neutron hits an atom, it creates a lot of energy, and the energy is in the form of heat. As far as I'm aware, that's called thermal energy. That's your thermal energy, and that's where the hot water thing comes in.
Critical mass, and its status has changed to reactive.
Okay, so basically, the water will get really hot because the fission is consistently happening over and over and over and over, consistently. Obviously, if we need more heat, we can raise the control rods, that will increase reactivity, and that will allow us to basically have more heat, which will make the water hotter, and that can have obviously consequences, good and bad. So in this case, it can make the pipes hotter in the primary circuit, which goes over to the secondary circuit, and for example, might make this become highly pressurized because it's really, really hot, for example. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and increase the low speed to 30. There we go. Better. Okay, this is going to take its sweet time, so once I kind of get everything done, or like everything running, I'm going to basically end the video because I don't want to kind of like bore you guys. I could turn this into a dedicated like series eventually, but I just kind of wanted to like flex that I know some of this stuff. Like I said, I'm not an expert by any means. I just have a weird fascination with this stuff. Okay, you are filling up. No, you're not. Actually, you're decreasing. Oops. Well, there's no water in. What? Shouldn't there be water in? I see. Oh. Okay. I guess that works. That's going to have to iron itself out, basically. Basically, there's nothing else for us to do over here. There are other things that can make this game more difficult or more realistic or whatever by, like, in this case, you can have xenon, which is, I think, a byproduct of uranium. Basically, if it should burn off, in theory, naturally, but then I guess it creates iodine, which is also... so something that has to be kind of dealt with. I don't have chemicals enabled, because if I did, there would be a whole nother control panel over there for managing what chemicals and elements are in your actual reactor. You could have too much of something, so you could have too much, let's say, I'll just say boric acid, and that might, let's say, reduce reactivity, and you might not be able to even start your reactor. or whatever. Or if you have too much of xenon, you basically also starve your reactor as well. So, okay, we are getting up to temperature. I'm gonna raise this by that much. 0.3 doesn't seem like a lot, but it does definitely make it get a little warmer. And you shouldn't really do adjustments like this while it's still climbing. You should only do the adjustments once it's actually at temperature. But I love to live life on the edge, so okay. Let me go ahead and increase this a little bit. Let me see. Does that help at all? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. This needs to be turned on. The condenser is my least favorite thing because it is really, really hard to get working, and it's easy to screw up once you get it working. So I try not to like mess with this. I don't have to mess with it. I wish I could have someone else just do this for me, but you know, co-op doesn't exist yet. Once it does, I will be a very happy person. Okay. So that should be simmering down. The evaporation should equal out. Water in, steam out, and evaporation should all roughly be about equal eventually. This is good. Extraction flow and condensate flow rate should also match. But I always have issues where I accidentally overshoot and have the condensate flow rate just shoots up really high or really low, and we can't have that happen. I don't know how to really solve that problem yet, but we're getting there. I did learn some things. I have been learning to mess with those to get them to even out, so you have a consistent vacuum, yield pressure, and this, if you can get it just right, will always be the same until you start losing heat. Once you get to a certain amount of temperature, or once you get your secondary entire circuit up to a certain temperature, basically it becomes not really self-sustaining, but in a way self-sustaining. But that temperature's heavily tied to your core. So if your primary loses heat even by a little bit, sometimes it can cause an entire horrible chain reaction here that is unrecoverable. And I hate it. So anyway, okay, we're gonna go ahead and take that to that. We got our vacuum. Okay, you're plummeting. Oh no, you're not. Never mind. You're plummeting. I lied. Okay. You're also dropping. Okay, I guess it's plumbing too. It's probably going to slow down and stop, knowing my luck. Okay, you got a vacuum, you got pressure. This is building. Again, I really don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just kind of hoping it works out. I don't know why this is still doing its weird loop dance. I'm kind of just waiting for it to simmer down, honestly. Because once it does, then we'll be fine. We'll be Yankee Doodle Dandy. Okay, so since everything is basically fine besides the condenser, but it's getting better, I think we can honestly go ahead and get our generator on the grid. So let me go ahead and go over here. We're basically removing the turbine bypass, which just allows steam to go through the generator now instead of from the steam generator right to the condenser directly. It's going to actually go through the turbine now. And that's going to take a second to actually do. So what is it doing? Okay, this really wants to like be high, so we'll go ahead and just we'll take it to 45, because then that means this will go up to 90, and hopefully it should even out roughly. It's going to cause that to cascade though a little bit. That's what's going to suck. But oh, okay, you're plummeting. If I increase you like that, will you start building again? Question mark? No. Okay. Good to know. What about now? Okay. There we go. Also, my reaction and that sound have nothing to do with each other. That's the actual turbine actually kicking up. So, once it gets up to power, I will probably end the video because like I said, this is kind of laggy. I still need to tweak the settings because I do want to play this game. I can't stand the lag, and I don't want this to be. I don't want a video that's over 20 minutes long, and it's just lagging the entire time. So, also, to be honest, it might not even be lagging for you guys. It could be lagging because my refresh rate is not accurate, like on my screen. So it might look fine to you guys. I won't know until I'm actually editing it. Okay. So hopefully the turbine will get up to power before the time is up, but I don't think it will, because it does take quite a while for the hertz to actually get up to 50. So I'm gonna step back because once that starts ticking, it gets really annoying really fast. Once this starts doing its thing, I can start messing with these dials a little bit, and basically this can get this to be at a fixed level, and kind of same with this. Okay, actually, as the retention tank fills, this is also climbing. I'm just hoping it doesn't overshoot, though, because if it climbs too high, then it has this cascading effect that just is really hard to keep under control. Uh-oh. Why is the... Okay, well, bad news. I guess the turbine is... I've not actually dealt with that in ages. That's a new one. Not new, but that's definitely... Oh, wait. It's oh, okay. I know why. We can deal with that in the next, like, thing I do. Basically, you're supposed to have your resistor bank on to absorb the electric it's making. If you don't, then you will damage your turbines. So worst case scenario, I'm going to probably make another video of me starting up the nuclear plant again, and that might be the official series for this. This is just a test run for this game specifically. Okay, let me go over here. Okay, so you're still climbing, you're doing good. The retention tank is still climbing as well. This is getting up to speed. I'm gonna go ahead and actually increase time again. Time will slow down, basically, if there's any new alerts, which is helpful, but at the same time, it's not recommended to keep time going full speed the entire time, just because some things might not pop up as concerning until it's too late. While, you know, if you take the time to look at it, you can prevent any things from ever popping up at all. Like, basically, when this popped up, it's already too late. The damage has been done. If I was paying attention, I might have realized, like, oh, I need to have this on. But I wasn't, so. Okay. And this, once it hits 12, this will start ticking. This is the synchronous scope. This basically hooks us up to the grid. I'm currently trying to match the RPM. It's going to be 3060, but it has to be in line with this dot right here. Okay, let's go ahead and actually slow down time now. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, this needs to be perfectly in sync with this. So go ahead and just... There we go. And now it's in sync. If I hit close, there we go. We are on the grid. We are producing power. Again, I will probably end up restarting this later, because I don't want to start off a series with a broken generator, because that would suck. But we have this. This is kind of getting up to speed, or up to where it's supposed to be, I guess. It's taking its time, and it's good enough. But yeah, basically this is how you kind of start a reactor in this game. Like I said, I don't really understand things like the condenser specifically, so what you saw me do was really just me taking a shot in the dark, which is what I do every time I play this game, and deal with the condenser. I am learning. Hopefully, if anyone sees this who also plays this game, please explain a little bit about how the condenser works. I would love to know. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate anyone for watching, and hopefully I can play this game some more once I figure out what settings to set to make it not so laggy, because even on my strong computer it was not stable. It was so laggy, and I don't believe that is even the fault of the developers. I think it's just Unity's just really badly optimized game engine. So, but all right, well, thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day.